Hello and welcome to week 4. So we are already at the quarter mark of the class, which is absolutely amazing to think of, that we are already in our 4th week. And you've already hopefully learned a lot of great information about children's health and how the health, safety, and nutrition elements are all combined. So this week we're going to be continuing looking at children's health, but specifically looking at some medical conditions that some children in your classroom may experience. So last week when you were looking at those daily health observations, hopefully the presentation that you needed to watch and the discussion board really helped you to understand about this is what we should be seeing when we're looking at children's health, and how can we be more aware of how children are developing and how healthy they are. But sometimes you are going to have children in your classroom that have some special medical conditions. And so chapter 4, which is the chapter you're going to be looking at this week, discusses several of those, gives you some great information about what it is, how children are diagnosed, how you might work with a child who has that particular medical condition in your classroom. And so your discussion board for this week is actually going to be to choose one of those medical conditions and do a little bit of research about it, specifically about how you as a teacher are not only required to handle that condition in your classroom, but what are some ways that maybe teachers and professionals have found to best help children with that particular medical condition. I will tell you that as a mom who has 2 girls with tree nut allergies, that is definitely something that is always a stress for me. It gets a little bit less now that they are older, but when they were younger, it was something that I worried about nonstop because they weren't ready to be able to read the food labels. And as a child, even if they know they're not supposed to have something, but everybody else is having it, they're going to be tempted to do it because they just cognitively don't understand the impacts that they can have. So I have always appreciated teachers who have said, if someone's bringing in a birthday treat, please remember that there can be no nuts, there can be no whatever a child's allergy may be. And this is just one of the conditions that's mentioned in the chapter. But from a personal experience, I just wanted you to know how much it means when I have a teacher who recognizes the severity, but is trying to make sure that my child is not excluded. What we found was that both of my daughters are fine with things like M&Ms and Skittles, and so we just always made sure that they had a bag in their backpack or in their lunchbox. So if someone did bring in a treat and they weren't sure if they were allowed to have it, they at least had something so they could still partake in the celebration. So like I said, that is just one of the many that are mentioned in chapter 4, but just to know from a parent perspective that it means a lot when teachers want to learn more about it, but more importantly, they just want to make sure that the child is included in everything that they do. So when you look into our folder for this week as we're looking at the medical conditions, it's pretty straightforward. You're going to be looking at chapter 4. I've attached to the PowerPoint for chapter 4, and then the medical conditions discussion board. Just don't forget that not only do you need to post your response, but you do need to respond to at least 2 of your classmates in order to get full credit. And remember, it can't be something like, great post, I agree with you. I'm not asking you to write a 3-page paper, but I am asking you to actually respond to what it is that they said, because that's your way that you communicate and you are having a conversation with your classmates. So just make sure that you're giving me more than just a quick little sentence that doesn't really have any substance or depth to it. So as long as I can tell that you read what they said and that you are trying to engage by letting them know what it meant to you, or you know, sharing your own personal experience if they have shared one as well. That's really what I'm looking for. So have a great week as you are looking at different medical conditions that you may see in your classroom. And when you're choosing one, choose one that either you're interested in or you want to know more about, or maybe it's something that your own child has, and so you just want to have even more information. So have a great week learning about children's health. We have one more week in this unit before we move on to the next one. Keep working on your growth brochure and flyer. Make sure that you're looking at all of the instructions and the rubric so that you are meeting all of the requirements. But remember to have fun. It's something that I want you to be able to use, not just to submit for an assignment and then never refer to it again. So have a great week, and I will see you in week 5.